Hi, and welcome to Learn with Sawgrass, the Wednesday edition. I'm Rhonda, the Education Manager here at Sawgrass, and we are here every Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern and every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern to just teach you more about Sawgrass, to help you with your equipment, to inspire you to do some new projects, and hopefully if you are starting a business or hoping to grow a business, we can give you some tips to do that as well. I am joined by Rhodes, another member of our education team. He's off the camera. You'll hear him occasionally, and he is in the chat. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please put them in there, and he'll either answer you or he will let me know. I pester him quite often to see if there's anything in there, so please give him something to answer with. All right, so we are going to jump right in. If you were with us yesterday, we are right on the verge of the holiday selling season. And so you are hopefully making some plans, whether it's big or small. And the big thing to know is that people selling with Sawgrass may be like myself, who are crafters and hobbyists who occasionally sell, or it could be a side hustle for you or even a full-time business. No matter which category you fit into, hopefully we have some tips that help. Yesterday we did talk about preparing for shipping and how to package and ship sublimated items. So we went through that yesterday, and today we're going to talk about holiday fairs. So yesterday was more geared to if you're selling online. Today is more geared to if you're selling on site. And this is actually a really good one because this really fits all of us. So a lot of times people like myself who consider ourselves to be hobbyists or crafters do see that there's an upcoming fair, whether it's at the school, whether it's at the church, whether it's in my case the ice rink, where you could display some items for sale. I know I've never done that. A lot of people have not. So today we're going to walk through the essentials of what you need to have with you and what you need to take. And hopefully, even if you are a little more experienced, hopefully there are some tips in here of some things that you may not have thought of. So it's a pretty comprehensive list, but I'm saying these are your must-haves for holiday fairs, and they are your seasonal selling essentials. So we're going to jump right in. Okay, so the first thing is booth setup. Now, I said I don't really sell, but I do go to trade shows. And with trade shows, these are the conversations that we have every single time. So there are some things to think about. These are things to think about when you're considering where you're going to sell, and then when you're considering what you need to take with you. So when we talk about these kind of holiday markets, they may be large, they may be regional, they may travel around, or it may be those one-off local events. But the things you need to consider are, where is it? So is it indoors or is it outdoors? You also have to think about things like, is it during the day or is it at night? Is it at both? So that you can prepare for what you need to take. It's also a really good idea, and this is where my knowledge from the trade show market or trade shows come from, or come into play. What do you need to take with you? So what is already there? What are you provided? And what do you need? So of course, are there tables? Are there chairs? Is there a cover? Are you allowed to have something behind you? How big are the sides? So is it something where you're completely separated? Can people only enter your booth from one side or from multiple sides? I don't know if you go to fairs a lot. I know I do. It drives me bananas when there is a very narrow standing area. So it's like table, 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 wall, wall, wall. And so there's only one way in, there's only one way out, and there's not a lot of browsing space. And a lot of these booths have things that are fragile. So I'm pretty clumsy, so I'm always worried I'm gonna knock something over or break something. So making sure that you know the layout and you can think about the traffic flow is very important. Other things is if it's inside, is there a floor covering? Is there not a floor covering? If it's outside, is it dirt? Is it grass? These are things to think about because you want to make sure that people are able to comfortably come in and go out of the booth. You know, what if it's raining and it's dirt? Is it muddy? Should you have something to kind of cover that area? All of these things are going to be very important. The other things to know about are Wi-Fi and power. Again, my area of expertise from the trade show world. How easily is it to get files if you're doing things on site? How easy is it even to connect to do payment methods? So Wi-Fi is very important, but also is there power available? Because if there's power available, then there's things you can plug in, you can do lights, all of those fun things. So knowing what's available to you actually should influence where you decide to go and where not to go to. Because what are you having to pay for as opposed to what's available and already in part of the price. So all of those things are important. So the big things you need is tables and chairs, tablecloth. If you are outside, tent or canopy, and then of course, because of the winds, weights for your tent are very important. Whether it's inside or outside, we need to think about signage. You, of course, are going to need some sort of banner with your business name on it. You're going to need price signs. You're going to need info signs, and then you need a QR code. There are so many free QR code generators out there. QR codes are great. You can do so much with a QR code. So what are some things you should think about? If you have a website, if you have social media, it's somewhere to direct them because you want people to learn more about you and to follow you. So links to those are really good. You may have a product list. You may have product photos. Those are good things for QR codes too. You also may have some sort of information gathering. It is always great to have something where people can drop their information, a card they can fill out, a clipboard with a form that or with an Excel like check spreadsheet, I guess, where they can put, well, I'm just going to call it a table, with a table where they can put name and address and all those things. All of those are great. But that information then has to be entered by you into a computer later. If they're doing it through a form with a QR code, it's done. It's already in the system. It's going to generate you an Excel form or Excel file so that you have everything in one place. So I love QR codes. There's some great QR code generators out there. If you're doing something where you're gathering information and then doing a drawing, that would be an awesome way to use that too, so that you're getting the information you need to start your mailing list or improve your mailing list, but at the same time, they have some incentive for filling it out. One thing, we can talk about this here, we can talk about this when we talk about seasonal stuff too, is a great way to do this is some sort of guessing game. So a jar full of buttons, a jar full of jelly beans, a jar full of keychains, whatever it may be, where they're guessing how many are in there. I was at a shared booth a few months ago where they sold color pencils, and their form actually asked people to submit thoughts for themes for the colored pencil sets. Great idea. Everyone loved that engagement of putting in what TV shows or what books or movies they thought should be the basis for colors. Great idea and great way to do that too. Of course, I mentioned this lighting to not only help people see, but lighting to help highlight certain products or certain areas. We'll talk about displays in a minute, but that light's going to be very important. If you do have lighting, you are going to need extension cords and power strips. That's why it's so important. And then that floor covering that we talked about. Do you need it? If you're outside, do you need it? If you're inside, do you need it? Do you just need a rug? What do you need to cover that floor? All right, product displays. This is the fun stuff. So Shelves, crates, and risers. Really good to kind of add some dimension. You don't want everything flat. If you can put stuff like those tumblers or mugs, they have to be a little sturdier if you're doing something like that. But it's going to catch someone's eye as they walk by. If everything's flat, that really doesn't happen. So you need some dimension. Since you may or hopefully are doing cups or mugs, a mug stand or a cup stand or a mug tree comes in really handy, again, to give that dimension. Pegboards on the walls to hang things like ornaments, to hang things like keychains, really great. Again, colorful things to bring people in, display stands. If you're doing clothing, apparel racks, hangers to put on maybe that pegboard. And then, of course, mannequins or props as well. The mannequin heads for hats, for bandanas, for those things. Anything that is at eye level so that people walking by are intrigued and want to stop in is going to be your best bet. If your booth is crowded and people are having to look at the table, there's a good chance they're going to keep walking because they can't really see what you have. So adding that is really good. Good to have a t-shirt folding board on hand so that if you do have stacks of t-shirts, you can easily fold them. I have worked in retail. I can tell you there is a human desire to take every shirt and hold it up and look at it, even if it's 5 of the same shirt, just in different sizes. I don't know why, but people have to unfold all of them. So being able to easily fold and stack is going to be very helpful. A mirror so people can see themselves in that hat or with that scarf so they can hold up that shirt and see what it looks like on them. So full body mirrors or at least half body mirrors are definitely a need. Baskets or bins for smaller stuff are really great. Kind of keep things in one spot. If you're not hanging those ornaments or you're not hanging those keychains, really good to have something to display them in. I'm going to come back to baskets and bins in a minute. Having an inventory checklist so you know what you have and you're marking it off as you sell it, just so you have that and you can kind of keep up with what you've got. Extra stock, protective padding, because a lot of the stuff we sell is fragile. We talked about it in shipping yesterday. So having those things to bubble wrap items as you give it to the customer is really great. You offering an extra charge to ship, even better. So they're not having to walk around with it. And then, of course, that you have a packaging station for those fragile items, whether you charge more for that or whether you have it available for them to use. A really great option and really great thing for your buyers, for your customers. When we talk about sales and payment, cash box if you're taking cash. Credit card reader of some kind, whether that's Square, whether that's PayPal. You also can have a QR code for online payments, so a QR code for them to pay you through Venmo or other options like that. For a lot of this, you are going to need a phone or a tablet. I'm going to say this more than once. You don't need a charger, but you do need a charger. So being able to charge that, even if it's a battery charger, if you don't have power in your booth. Receipt book, if you need that for physical receipts. Some sort of sales tracking sheet or app to help you. And then, of course, shopping bags, tissue paper, and wrapping to put things in there as well. With the shopping bags, you have some great options. We talked about this yesterday. You never want a bag that is going to sell for someone else. So you want to make sure it's branded for you or it's plain. I would recommend seasonal colors if you're doing a plain bag or seasonal sayings. But because of what we do, you can easily make your own bags and have them. And we have now found that you can easily do ribbons. So even if it is a plain bag, tying a ribbon to the handle with your company's logo on it, fantastic idea to get yourself out there. You, of course, are also going to need price signs for items. Bundles are really good if you're selling in person. I talked a little bit ago, I was going to come back to bins and boxes. If you are Selling in person, you want to create some kind of experience. So that experience may be a bundle, buy 2 ornaments, get the 3rd ornament free. It may be pick a mug, pick a coaster, pick a tea towel, all to go together. So there are some things like that that you can do as far as bundling goes. But anything that you can get people to be interactive with keeps them in the booth longer. So especially if you have some lower priced items that are interesting to kids, parents will start browsing in your booth other things while the kid is shopping. Really great things that you should consider are things like keychains. Keychains are so easy to make, and you can do things with letters, so they're having to go through to find the specific letter. Anything that you can do, now that we can do wood blocks, if you have VersaFlex, you could do letters so they can spell out words. Even if they don't buy, their parents may. Another thing is making sure that with your packaging that it's something that you cannot see through, because sometimes people travel to fairs with people they're buying gifts for. So being able to quickly wrap it and put it in a bag so someone doesn't see it, great idea. It makes you so much more approachable, and that's all that you need to do a lot of times. Some business essentials that you need to have on hand. Business cards. If you don't have business cards, QR codes to take them to your information online. Flyers, postcards, or promotional materials. I know it's weird in this day and age where we have a phone that does everything for us, on us all the time, but there's something about that physical piece of paper. Now, of course, balance it. What's the cost of having it? What's the knowledge that most likely they're going to pick it up, never look at it again? But flyers, postcards, and promo pieces come in handy to put in the bag. Check as well when you're figuring out where you're going to sell and all the details of where you're going to sell. Also check for what licenses or permits you have to have. You're going to need, of course, a QR form. If you are taking orders more than selling product, or a balance of selling pre-made product and then taking custom orders as well, QR codes for online custom ordering is very handy. I will say, to me, if you can get them to place the order, whether it's online or whether it's in person with you, while they are standing there, you have won the battle. Once they step out, no matter how interested they were, their chances of buying has decreased because people talk themselves out of things. They forget where they stopped by. There's so many reasons why if you don't get the sale immediately, you may not get the sale. So if you can find some way to enhance the chances that they're going to do it while they're standing there, even better. Place a custom order today, get a free keychain. So free is a big thing to entice people to buy. If you have keychains on hand, again, those initial keychains are great for this. Not a big giveaway for you to guarantee a large online order. And of course, you can set a minimum. Place an online custom order today for at least $25, get a free keychain. So you are in charge. You get to set the rules. No one else is doing it for you, but that's just something to think about. You also can have lookbooks, mini catalogs, or product lists available. So even if you don't have it in the booth, you have something where people can look at what you offer. You can have those catalogs. Again, people like things they can take with them. Product lists are great for this. Black and white copies on a color piece of paper are still reasonable at a copy shop. So you can get those and have those on hand. Even better if you can fit it into half of a sheet. So you're getting 2 for each one sheet of paper. And so those are really handy. It's also good to have a notebook or a clipboard with you to make any notes. Maybe people will make suggestions of what they would like to have seen. Always great to write that down. You can have a mailing list sign-up sheet or tablet available. Again, Tablet means you don't have to re-enter it. And then, of course, holiday promo flyers. Final dates to order for Christmas. Final dates for shipping for Christmas. All of these things are going to be very helpful. Rhodes, do we have any questions or comments?
Lori has a comment here. She said if you have power, use scented melts. Use scents that make you think of the season, like cinnamon pine for Christmas and so forth. Puts people in the mood.
It does. It's the Disney philosophy. Disney pipes in scents for a reason. Scents are actually one of the biggest things that make you buy. They actually entice you into buying. So as far as the senses go, scent is very important. So yeah, Lori, fantastic tip. Also, to be able to have a Bluetooth speaker with some holiday music playing lightly. Again, anything to make your booth stand out. I know this is funny, but when we go to trade shows, our booth always stands out. Why? Because our company colors are bright pink and bright orange. Those colors stand out in a sea of navy blues and dark greens and dark blues, and blacks and grays. So we always catch people's attention because of the bright colors. So if you can have a booth that plays into the season with those scents, with those Christmas lights, with those Christmas colors, it's going to get people to come see you. Moving right in, perfect timing, into seasonal holiday touches, making sure that you have festive decorations, making sure that you have holiday music playing. I know it's silly, but it helps create that sense of urgency. They're not just at a random booth in the middle of summer looking at stuff. They're at a holiday booth and they need to make decisions about the holiday gift giving. So it helps remind them about why they are there. When you have packaging, when you're doing that it is themed, that it stands out for that reason. If you can offer gift wrap, huge. Again, a lot of times people are traveling with the people they're buying gifts for. So even for an extra charge, people do love some gift wrap as well. Make sure that you have samples, that you have items on display that play into the holidays. Even if most of your stuff is just personalized, I mentioned initials, and aren't specifically for the holiday season, having those lower price items such as wooden Christmas trees, mugs with Christmas sayings on them, Christmas ornaments, all of this, a Christmas, now that we have VersaFlex, Christmas themed t-shirts are great little impulse items that people will pick up. And sometimes they are looking specifically for things that are holiday themed. Also making sure that you have holiday themed signage. This is perfect for gifts, great personalized gift, things like that, just to remind them of what they need to do. And of course, gift bundle options. Not only having the mug, but having the coaster, having the spoon rest, or having the tea towel, or whatever it may be, will encourage people to spend more because they're saving and they can take care of all the items for one person and their family at one time with a good bundle. And of course, making sure that you have garland up, you have lights, all that fun stuff. All right, personal supplies. You got to take care of yourself. I will be saying this through the rest of the year. Self-care is the best care, and it's going to be very important during this stressful season. So making sure that you have snacks and water, that you have warm clothes and you have layers. It's really funny because where I was building this list, they meant specifically if you're outside. A lot of indoor facilities are very cold and you may be underneath a vent. So having something else that you can put on is very handy. If you're outside, gloves and hand warmers, but make sure the gloves are ones that you can function in, that you can move around easily in. I said it before, I'll say it again. Having that phone charger or that battery pack is important. And then of course, tissues, hand sanitizers, and wipes. We were at a trade show where we were the only people with hand sanitizer, And we got very friendly with all the other booth owners because they came over to use our hand sanitizer. Make sure that you have trash bags as well, just to kind of keep everything neat and organized. You're going to need an emergency kit. So this is just something it's really cool because most of these items, you build this once. You only replace things when you need to, but you really pack it and forget it. You just know to take this with you every time. So you need all of the tapes, duct tape, masking tape, and clear tape. You're going to need scissors. You're going to need zip ties, extra price tags in case something blows away, pens, markers, notepads, first aid kit just in case of emergency, safety pins or clips. You never know what's going to fall, so that's important. Again, toolkit with screwdriver, pliers, etc. Lint rollers and microfiber cloths just to keep everything shined up and looking great are going to be important. And then branded stickers, thank you cards for the packaging. I'll say it a million times. I think it's so important that you're taking care to make their item presentable when you put it into the packaging, and that you're giving them that thank you card or that lanyard, that little something extra, just to remind them where they got it. And I said this yesterday, and I said I would say it again today. Make sure that you're putting a business card in any purchase, because often when I buy from fairs, when I gift the item, I'll leave that business card in there so they know where the item came from in case they may want to order something extra. So 2 business cards, one for the buyer and one for the gift recipient as well, is a great thing to do. All right, so that is my list. I hope it's comprehensive. I know we have at least one person who sells at markets in the chat. So if there's anything I missed, go ahead and add that in and let Rhodes know. But those are kind of my list. As far as how to sell at a market, we've talked about this before. A lot of times you can pre-make items or take those custom orders. So you really kind of have to decide what the purpose of being there is. Are you trying to make money on the spot? Are you trying to show things that you can get orders for the future? These are all things to kind of keep in mind as you go. You can travel with a Sawgrass printer. When I was in the tech support team, I got asked that all the time. Can I unplug my printer, throw it in the vehicle, take it with me to a show? Yes. But now you're having to think about things like you have to have a heat press. I probably would limit it to things that I could do pretty easily without having to adjust the press. Usually if you are making on the spot, you need an extra human in the booth with you. So someone is taking care of customers while you're taking care of orders, or vice versa. So those are all things to kind of consider and keep in mind. Rhodes, do we have any questions or comments?
One more from Lori. She says to brand your shirt or jacket so if you leave your booth and walk around, people know where to find you.
Exactly. So making sure you're wearing something that says who you are. This is one of the beauties of VersaFlex. We've never done this. We will do branded shirts for where we're going for a show, but you could put a booth number on there too. Put it on the back, because those shirts make great around the house shirts. We, between my daughter and I, we have plenty at this point. So that's it for me. I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you get started and get you thinking. Next week, we have a very special workshop on Tuesday, and this one is at the suggestion of Rhodes. He wanted me to take some time and go back through the basics of sublimation. So the basics of what you need, my tips for how to succeed. So we're going to do a good rundown of the basics of sublimation and getting started with sublimation. So it's really that. It's getting started with sublimation. It's going to be like an onboarding and live workshop form. And then on Wednesday, their tips, their things that they see and they hear all the time. So they'll be joining me on Wednesday. We do have a podcast, hopefully joining hopefully airing this Friday. If not, I'll get it up as soon as I can next week. But that is with Judith Sanchez of Luna Lee. And she is going to be talking again about the same topic, about preparing and organizing for holiday selling. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you again next week. Please check out our podcast, Ink Differently. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music too. That's all for me, unless Rhodes has something else.
One last thing from Lori.
Okay.
Read your contracts. If it's outside, and if the outside is your fee refundable if the market gets canceled or rescheduled.
Very important. Yeah, so with weather stuff, you know, what is that recoverable fee? A lot of this helps you decide where you want to go or where not to go. So great point. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.